Guess what, bro? I had a sales call today.
Yeah, man, how did it go?
Dude, it was so weird. It was like I was testifying in court. Like he treated me like the timeshare salesman. We were like 15 minutes in and he was like, what do you even do again? I was like, who schedules calls with the people you don't even know who the fuck they are and what they do?
So what happened?
I'm sending him a custom proposal, 45 pages.
Dude, he is gonna ghost you harder than a freelancer who promised unlimited revisions.
Come on, bro. Don't talk shit about me.
What's up, guys? It's Frankie here. In this video, I want to show you how to get people to go, I want it, that by the time they're reaching out to you, whether you guys do a sales call or we've, for the last many years, sold our stuff through video, where they're most of the way sold even before they start talking to you. In fact, an awesome example of this, one of the easiest sales calls I ever had in my life, it started, the lady said something like, hey, Frankie, we saw you speak at the National Trial Lawyers last week in Atlanta. To be honest with you, I don't even know what you sell, but I came here to buy it. How do we work together? And that's what I would call a 10 out of 10. Somebody who's like really super certain, pre-decided they're gonna work with you. And the flip side of that is most of you guys are jumping on calls with people who are 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, and you can almost feel their folded arms of like, who are you? What is this again? And so I wanna show you how to get people to go, I want it, even before they talk to you. For those of you guys who don't know me already, my name is Frankie Finn. I wrote these 2 best-selling books, Passive Automated Recurring Income, Beyond the Agency Box. You can find a link below for that. This baby's on Amazon. And I've also built 3 of my own agencies up to 100 plus clients. And for those of you guys who are out there, I've helped thousands of you to live this more beach, less laptop lifestyle. Let's get into the good stuff. All right, so this is some deep shit here because there's a hidden part of a sales process that by the time somebody initiates contact or you initiate contact with them called the temperature, and I do a simple rating system, 1 out of 10 being like icy cold, they've never heard of you, they have no idea what you are and what you do, and 10 out of 10 is like, oh, I know who you are, I came here because I want to work with you, I'm willing to pay whatever it takes. And most people don't know it, but they're talking to people at the stage where they're 2 to 3. And I'm not saying you can't close those people, but what happens is it's a pretty wide gap that has to be covered on a sales call, for example. And so often it can take like 45, 60 minutes. You got to really probe their pain. You got to really push them. You got to really know what you're doing. And a 10 out of 10, I look at it like, I think of that Atlanta lady that I mentioned who was like, I just want to work with you and I'll pay whatever it takes kind of thing. Like, I think an idiot could close that one, right? That's like some of the easiest ones they get. And what happens is when most of you guys are getting these 2 to 3 out of 10, what it kind of feels like constantly is your sales process feels a lot like this.
You shall not pass!
So there's an actual name for this, by the way. And it's called pre-selling. So what we're really trying to accomplish here is pre-selling people. So at the very least, by the time they talk to you, they're a 7, they're an 8, they're a 9, or a 10. So worst case scenario, they're at least seriously thinking about, seriously considering working with you. They may not be a 10 out of 10. They may still have some questions. They may still have some things that need resolved in their mind. But they're also not like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. I don't know what this thing is all about. And the way we do that is really simply, I'm going to show you guys a little sort of timeline here. And in the, so this is your target clients, their problem, your outcome, and what I would call this is your mechanism. Okay, so for you guys that are out there, you guys have different mechanisms. Some of you guys do websites. Some of you guys, your mechanism is SEO. Some of you guys do pay-per-click. Some of you guys do AI solutions and voice things like that. Some of you guys do go high-level SaaS. Regardless of what that mechanism is, we're going to put that mechanism right in the middle here because it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like this.
Who are you? Me? I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
What? All right, so we'll put some different mechanisms there just so you guys can, kind of see this, but SEO, PPC, Facebook ads, websites, SaaS, etc. So there's all kinds of different mechanisms, but what we want to establish is that for our target client, and this is before they speak to us, we want to have something in front of them, whether it's a video or a podcast or written. It really works in any form because it works on people. But is that we want to articulate their problem and articulate the outcome we can create. And we want to say to them that the best way to get from here to there is with this mechanism, okay? And so I'll give you an example of this. We used to run a lot of webinars back in the day, and a lot of attorneys would tell me that their entire business was inconsistent because they had consistent, why can't I spell that word? Anyways, inconsistent because their entire business model was dependent on referrals. So they would do all kinds of things to generate referrals. Problem with referral partners, some months they send you a lot, some months they send you none, and they would say, I have roller coaster income. So our outcome was to generate cases. We would typically, in the early stages, generate 5 to 10 cases from Facebook ads, okay? So this is the argument we had to make long before they jumped on a sales conversation with us, is that if you're having inconsistent months as an attorney and you're experiencing roller coaster income and you'd want to get to 5 to 10 regular cases a month, high-end like personal injury cases, you need to be running Facebook ads, because that was our mechanism. And what happens is, by the way, is when they decide that they need to use Facebook ads and we deliver Facebook ads, most of the sale is actually made before they show up. They say, yes, I have this problem. Yes, I want this outcome. And so you have to get really, really clear on their specific problems and their specific outcomes for this to work. But we want to position this before any sort of call, or for those of you guys who are in my World and Close and Loom videos, before any sort of Loom video, we want to establish that if you have this problem and you want this outcome, that you need to be doing this mechanism here in the middle. This also makes it a lot easier to sort of seduce clients in your world, because you actually don't have to hard sell and try and get everybody. You want to jump on a call? You want to jump on a call? Let's jump on a quick call. I get like, you know, on my YouTube channel, by the way, I get like 200 of these a week. If I jumped on a call with everybody who wanted to jump on a call with me, I still wouldn't have time to do all the fucking calls for call requests. But when you're over here, you can actually just use what I would call your pre-sales material, which is content in its various forms, and put out the vibe, kind of like this.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna hang by the bar. Put out the vibe. Okay.
It allows you to seduce prospects in, regardless of which form you're doing. So even if you're doing cold outreach, instead of saying, hey, do you want to jump on a call? You can say, hey, I created a simple little PDF report that if you're dealing with inconsistent months and you got roller coaster income and you're overly dependent on 3 to 6 referral partners, I can show you how to get 5 to 10 cases a day, or a month rather, using Facebook ads for a couple $1,000s. Are you interested in getting the PDF report, right? That is way more seduction than chase, right? That is way more, less banging on doors and trying to be the aggressive kind of person. If I'm running this as an ad, it's way easier to run an ad that says, hey, if you got inconsistent months and roller coaster income and you want to get 5 to 10 cases a day, the easiest way to do it is with Facebook ads. I put together a little video. If you'd like to learn more about how it works, simply request the video. And what will happen, by the way, as people watch the video or the PDF, you can do this written, you can do this audio. Like really, I would say whatever suits your style, right? Like if you're more of a written person because you like to slow it down and methodically think about it, write it, put it into a written report. If you're more of a talker, do it as a podcast. If you're a video person like me and you like shooting your mouth off, then shoot your mouth off in a video. But what we want to establish is that if you got this problem and you want to get to this outcome, the best way to do it is with this mechanism. And what you will find is if somebody consumes that, they will at least go to a 7. Because, firstly, all sales are made with emotion. So if you can accurately describe the problems they're experiencing, there's really only a few. Like, I'm slow. It's the slow season. I don't have enough work for my guys. I can't pay my paralegal. I can't pay my dental hygienist because I don't have enough consistent work. Our overhead is crazy high right now. After insurance and gas and stuff, we barely have anything left over, right? So you describe their problems and then you describe the outcome that your service creates and then say the best way to get there is with this mechanism. And I would describe that mechanism in anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 steps. Just explain how it works. So like if I was doing Facebook ads, I'd say, well, firstly, you got to target the right people. Then I'd say, secondly, you've got to create really cool ads for them. Then you got to retarget them. And then you got to do follow-up after they join your email list to get them on the back end of the conversion. If you do those 4 things, you'll get all the cases you want out of Facebook ads for relatively cost-effective price, right? What will happen is as somebody consumes that, they'll go to a 7 out of 10, which means, by the way, for you guys, when they jump on calls or request information, for those of you guys who close through Loom videos, they won't go, who are you? What the fuck is this about? What do you guys do again? They won't be these icy cold 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 leads that you got to super hard sell. And what happens is when they're 7, 8, 9, and 10, the sales process is far more collaborative. It's like it's actually helping them to get what they want rather than trying to convince them they need it in the first place, because this thing filtered out the people who don't need it in the first place. And by the way, for those of you guys who are interested in the Wolfpack Mastermind, which is our more beach, less laptop agency mastermind, our sort of leverage style of doing it, I actually have tools that will lay out all of their problems at the click of a button, so that if you don't know what this is already, I can give you that info in about 10 seconds. And over here, I got other tools that will rewrite your existing service into an outcome, because most of you guys just got generic services. We'll do some SEO, we'll do some pay-per-click, but that needs to be repositioned as an outcome. So I got another tool that'll do both of those in about 10 seconds each. And then also, by the way, I have another tool that will create this thing for you in the middle in 10 seconds. So in under a minute or two, you can actually create something super valuable that says, hey, if you got these problems, you want to get to this outcome, let me lay out the process for how you can get there. And then this is the thing that I really want to impress upon you guys, is that most people don't realize that the money is in the implementation, not in the ideas. So we're giving away the ideas that help them understand what their real problem is and how to get out of it and how to solve it. But in actuality, what we're getting paid for in this scenario is the implementation of that idea. So we're giving them the ideas because we know they can't implement them without us, which is kind of what we do inside of here.
Select your player.
¡Ho, ho! ¡Bingo! ¡Ho, ho, ho, ho!
So I hope overall this is super helpful, because I want you guys to be able to have people show up to you and go, I want it, and not like, who the hell are you guys again? What the fuck do you guys do? And treat you like the timeshare presentation. Instead, I want you to get people who are 7, 8s, and 9s, and 10s, who actually really want to work with you, who are very serious about it. They may have a question or two, but they already know who you are and what you do. And the simple way you do that is we contrast the problem and the outcome, and we lay out the steps required using that mechanism. Because we know I could show a plumber all the steps required to do SEO, and most times they're just going to say, can you just do that for me? Right? So that's the reaction you're going to get, is they're going to show up here and say, hey, I saw what you said. It made a lot of sense. Can you just do that for me? And that's the scenario we want to be in. And those are the easiest sales to close. And it's also very leveraged, because this document or this podcast or this video recording does most of the filtering for it. I like to say that even when my ass is asleep in bed, video me is working round the clock, 24/7, 365 days a year. So this is actually way more leverage than jumping on calls as well, because it does the sifting and sorting and filtering for people who have the right problem and want to get to the right outcome. So I hope that's super helpful to you guys, because this is a lot easier than most people make it, and it doesn't need to be as hard, and you can get straight to people going, I want it. That's all I got for you guys in this video. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe, just for the golden dad guns alone. And may the force be with you. Buy my book, or I will sign you up for interpretive dance lessons given by an angry, angry mind.